Hey, how y'all doing? What is happening, everybody? We made it. I know we're a few minutes late, but we're here. We're gonna do a sound check really quickly.
Oh, I have no idea.
You have no idea?
So
You
just
don't
keep
wanna do a
going.
sound check? Can you guys hear us? You guys, we'll do our sound check with y'all. Y'all let me know if you can hear. Mine says still connecting to multi-stream. Every time I see that, I think about Multipass from what's the movie with? Oh, it's my favorite sci-fi movie ever. I'm not seeing comments though. It says connected. With Bruce Willis. Oh my gosh.
Fifth something.
Fifth Element. Thank you, baby. That is my favorite all-time sci-fi movie. Multipass.
Yep, you're on YouTube.
Okay. I'm just not seeing any comments. So, oh, there's Madonna. Hey, Madonna. I think about. Thank you. That is my favorite all-time. With Bruce Willis.
Whoop.
Oh my gosh. Multipass.
Sorry, I thought I was turning everything down.
I'm just not seeing any comments. David's causing problems over there. Oh, there's Madonna. Hey, Patricia, how are you? Now, all the comments I'm seeing are from, hey, Sonnet.
YouTube at the moment.
Are from
Or Facebook at the moment.
Yeah, that's weird, right?
No, it's not unusual.
Okay. Extremely cold, Illinois. Is it extremely cold? I'm sorry. I will not tell you guys what the temperature is here. I was getting harassed. What was I talking about temperatures earlier? Oh, it was on Whatnot earlier. And who was it was saying that they just feel so bad for me while they sit in 7 degrees. Because I complained that it was cold. Oh. Hey, Miss Karen. I know we did. We missed you. We painted fabric. I should show you what we did. Where is... I don't have my sample here. But yes, we will be together Wednesday evening. So hopefully you can join us Wednesday night. And that's for my membership. We get to hop onto our community and meet in real time once a week, which is nice.
Time is your thing?
It's in the negatives here. Oh, I'm sorry, Sonnet. Huh?
What time is your thing?
For
Wednesday?
Wednesday is 6 o'clock.
Because I have a downtown meeting at 5:30, and I think we have the man. As soon as I'm back, I'll grab him.
Okay.
All right. But you'll have him for the beginning of...
I'll trade our code for your code for the beginning of our thing. Okay. Yeah. We'll work it out. We are creating wearable art, and so we will continue our discussion on painting fabric, like cloth fabric. I've done a complete masterclass on like painting furniture fabric, but this is different. This is about clothes and wearable art, which I'm excited about. I even have, I'm going to show you guys how cute this is. So I bought this little bitty denim jacket for my grandbaby, and I'm going to paint something on the back for her. So I have the base on there. I just need to put the yummy stuff on there. So I'm excited about that. But
All right, before we begin, real quick, if everybody on Facebook would share, make a comment, even if it's just to say hello, throw on an emoji. Emojis do help.
yes.
For some reason, they help. I don't know what it is, but
Well, because it's interaction, baby.
So if you would, that would be nice.
Thank you.
And if you're on YouTube, if you would hit the thumbs up and the bell lets you get notified every time Royce is on the air, live. And you can customize your notifications as well.
Yeah, because YouTube said I wasn't going to be live till 5:30. I don't know why it said that. That was weird.
See, that's why you need the notifications.
I know.
And it worked for me. I clicked on, because the notification came up, I clicked on it, came right to you.
Oh, okay. Very
So.
good. So, for some of you, this will be our second time hanging out today. We had a live auction on Whatnot earlier today. Thank you guys so much for coming and supporting. We really do appreciate you. It was fun, but it was fast. Like, we couldn't chit-chat the way we normally do because we were in a raid train, so I had 45 minutes. And David didn't like it.
I didn't. It didn't feel like us.
I know. I felt like I was like running in place the whole time. Oh, you know what? We have our first question. So, Alyssa, I hear you, girl. I got you. I'm not gonna pass up your question. So, baby, you may have to keep up with questions.
Well,
So,
I'll keep up with them. You're just steamrolling.
oh, I'm sorry.
You're still amped up like earlier.
I'm steamrolling.
Yeah.
If you are new here, my name is Royce Hunt Bell. The voice you hear behind the camera is my husband, David Bell, and together we make up Recycled Treasures. So my resin did not get here, you guys. I ordered resin, and it actually came like right before I took a nap. It was at the door, but that didn't give me enough time to make the resin like we were going to, so I can be all ready for you guys.
Oh, is that what arrived today?
Yeah.
Oh,
that
okay.
was on the porch
Gotcha.
today. So we're going to do another project, but David had a really good idea. He suggested that we do a Q&A today. So I'm going to be working on a project. Maybe I'll use the same paper on both. I don't know. Anyways, I'm going to be working on a project, but our primary focus today is going to be a live Q&A. So you guys think about your creative questions you wanted to ask, and then I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. And I am here in my shop, so if I'm able to demonstrate, I will, if I'm able to. But I'm going to be kind of over here puddling around with a project. I scored these 2 lunch boxes on Whatnot. Y'all, let's not talk about it. I scored these 2 lunch pails on Whatnot, and this little green one is so cute. I want to work on it first. And I pulled out the recycled industrial masterboard decoupage paper to go on there. But then this one was sitting close to it, so I pulled it out also. I'm not sure what paper. You guys can give me some suggestions, because I kind of want to leave the metal like it is, and so I don't know what paper would go with this color. But go ahead, baby.
Ken is solo in Santa Barbara. I'm assuming Flea might still be with church.
Oh.
Isn't Sunday normally church day or church night? She said that they have a Sunday ritual.
Yeah, well, their Sunday ritual, and oh yeah, I don't know. I know their Thursday ritual includes sushi.
Okay. I could have sworn Flea said church was part of
Sunday, but usually she's here. It may be, some other things that go on with the
and I get that. So hi, Ken. Okay, so the first question we have, if you decoupage on fabric, Alyssa Bricker-Visithan asks, such as a denim jacket, can you wash it?
So I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think so. I don't machine wash it. I don't think so. It may be a little different with the rice paper because the construction of that paper is a little bit different. But I don't imagine you can. Maybe if you wash it by hand, inside out, and hang out to dry. But you certainly won't be able to machine wash it. And that's just my answer. That's according to Royce. I don't have any experience. Inside the membership, we're looking at other ways to be able to add images to your fabric. But decoupaging is not one of them because I don't feel like it's something that will last long term.
Okay. Madonna says you're fading in and out. My guess is you're putting your hand over your mic.
Oh,
number
sorry,
one,
Madonna.
which you have been.
I know. I talk with my hands. I can't help it.
So, and Flea is dealing with some family stuff right now. So that's understandable. Next question. Where did it go? It is here. Amy Waters says, can I stencil or add adhesive vinyl on top of decoupage paper? She's working on a banner.
Yes, you can. Can you stencil or add adhesive vinyl on top of it? I would say yes. Are you working? So you can definitely stencil on top of decoupage. Absolutely. My thing's being weird. It won't let me do 2 screens.
Double check your connection. Make sure you're plugged in all the way.
Okay. Oh Lord, it did it backwards. Why am I still fading in and out?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna try to keep my hands down. Oh my gosh, so low. Okay, there we go. Sorry, guys. You can definitely stencil on top of your decoupage. I would just seal your decoupage. Make sure it's completely dry before you stencil. Especially if you're planning on using an adhesive on top of that. I would let my decoupage cure for a day or 2 before I put any kind of adhesive over the top to make sure that your paper doesn't tear, and use something that's a super low tack. And the second thing was adhesive vinyl. Are you talking about putting down an adhesive vinyl stencil?
She's doing a banner. So she wants to know about stencil or adhesive vinyl on top of decoupage. So think about the banner you're going to put
No,
across our main street.
yeah, I'm just trying to make sure because you can make stencils with adhesive vinyl. So I want to make sure that that's not what she's talking about because I wouldn't do that.
She said or adhesive vinyl.
Okay, so yeah, you can use adhesive vinyl on top of your decoupage. Absolutely, absolutely, you can apply it. And you can absolutely use a stencil over your decoupage. Just make sure that it's completely dry, especially with the adhesive vinyl, because any moisture might impact, that the vinyl's ability to adhere.
Then the question then becomes, what do you seal it with, depending on where your banner is going to be? Because if it's going to be outside, you want it weatherproof, correct?
Yeah, you want to use a waterproof. If you're going to have it outside temporarily, a marine grade sealer is fine. If you are going to have it like out in the weather for an extensive period, you may want to find something that has some type of UV protection because the sun will fade the design, even if the water doesn't get, underneath the finish that you put on there.
And she's basically saying like individual letters over a banner, welcome to the Terror Dome.
You can absolutely do that. I've done that. I wish I had one here for you. Yes, you can absolutely do that.
Sheila Teagan says, I think if you paint on fabric with fabric paint, you can wash.
Yes, we're talking about decoupaging. If you paint your fabric, you can wash it if you use the appropriate products. But the specific question was about decoupaging fabric. And so that's why I'm saying, I'm going to be honest, if you're using recycled tissue paper, like I love recycled decoupage paper, but it has limits, just like any other product has limits. So the idea of decoupaging it onto fabric and then being able to wash it doesn't seem reasonable to me. That's my answer according to Royce.
Did you double check the connector on your mic?
I did.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
Okay, am I still going in and out?
The last I see is yes.
Okay. Are you using HTV? Karen Moyer, what's HTV? Girl, we don't understand acronyms over here. Sorry, baby. I'm steamrolling again. Let me get back in my lane.
No, it's okay.
I'm going to start working on my little box right here. I'm going to go ahead and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to be using white primer tonight to make sure that I have good adhesion on here. And I'm only going to paint the bottom. I'm going to leave the top because I think this green is really pretty. I kind of want to tape this to make
So this is a filler project, basically. This is,
yes.
You're just filling time, for lack of a better term.
Well, yeah, but I mean, this is a project that we would probably do too if we were doing a project. But yes.
Because you want to do the second part of what you started last week. So, but this is a chance for everybody to, like you say, ask questions about anything. Doesn't have to be about the project. Dorothy says, happy 6th birthday again to Damar.
Hey, Dorothy.
Yes, they were. She says, love the family photos. That was a lot of fun that evening. The most best part of it was we got to come home. But it was a good time.
It was a good time, but we are the grand, so
And our youngest is starting to engage a little more. She was playing. We saw him last night.
Yes.
And
she's getting bigger.
Yes, she's becoming she's 6 months old.
Yeah. Well, she's almost 7 months now.
Yeah, I mean, just every month it's new. Right now it's drooling because of teeth.
She has been teething for months, Portecita. I feel so bad.
Drives her brother nuts. Ooh, that's disgusting.
It's us-gusting.
Because she drools on his stuff.
I know. No, us-gusting.
Yeah.
Makes me laugh with that one. Not disgusting, but us-gusting. I'm just taping that in hopes of not getting any of the primer on there. And so, I don't know if people would have questions.
Oh, Karen Moyer said, for whoever asked the question about the vinyl, who I don't remember and I apologize, heat transfer vinyl is what HTV is.
Okay.
I forgot where I
David
saw
is
it.
just louder, is what.
Oh, it was Amy Waters. So the question then becomes, are you using heat transfer vinyl over the decoupage?
Yes.
Would you seal the decoupage before you put the vinyl on?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You
Oh,
want
okay.
to seal it and you want to let it dry. And not just, you want to let it cure a little bit. So I would let it dry overnight before I went over top with the vinyl.
Dorothy, my puppy Stella is 6 months. She's chewing everything.
Oh my
Well,
goodness.
6 months for a puppy is, was it 7 years for each one?
Oh, don't start me to lying, baby. I don't know.
So I don't know what that would be. I can't do the math. I could, but I just don't want to. Dog's like 3, basically, like a 3-year-old.
I know, puppies are work, man. Dorothy? That's like having, oh no, that's work. That's like, I'm going to ask Miss Harper about that puppy she got, because that puppy is too much.
And at 6 months, isn't this the time they're trying to decide who's the alpha?
Oh, see, baby, you're asking questions I don't know anything about.
That's part of the play.
Can you guys tell I'm not a dog person? I contend that when my youngest son moved out, that was the last of the stinky bits in the house. So I'm not bringing in any new stinky bits. You know, real stinky bits. Football pads, ugh, track shoes. Ugh. Football pads are the worst, though. That has to be the worst smell ever. Ever. And so I'm just putting a light coat of white, ¿cómo se dice? Primer on this. It doesn't have to be full coverage. I just want to have a light color underneath my decoupage paper. I'm being careful not to paint those latches because I want to leave those green. I like them like that.
Trish Dominguez, is it possible to buy rice paper individually?
I don't sell rice paper, so I don't know. It depends on each brand operates differently. So it depends on the brand that you're buying, whether or not you can buy them individually. And there may be somebody here in the group who could answer that. But recycled decoupage paper is sold individually. But I don't know about the rice paper.
And Dorothy says, the puppy's a joy, but still battling Giardia with her for 2 months. I'm not sure what that stuff. Yeah, Angie, I was going to say the exact same thing. Hockey stuff, I think, is worse than football.
Yeah.
Because you put everything in a bag. And you're constantly carrying your bag. Your pads, your sweater, your pants, your shin guards.
All closed up in there.
Yeah, you're working just as hard as football. I think harder.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I think hockey's a little worse, but that's just me.
I've never smelled hockey because I'm in Arizona, so there's no hockey over here. We don't have any ice to play on.
Yeah, Christy's saying that she's having trouble hearing you too. I do not know why.
Oh, you're not using. They can hear you better than me. Is there another mic?
Yeah, we could switch microphones. That's no
Let's
big
swap
deal.
mics and see what happens. I'm sorry. I'm talking. My mic is right here. It's even sticking out.
Denise Nerdall says, yes, she sells rice paper by the sheet.
Okay. So I think it depends on the brand how the sheets are sold. Not necessarily that it's rice paper. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If that makes sense.
Vicky Zach sells paper individually too. Here, let me have your mic.
Okay. Mic check. 1 2 1 2. Okay. Who joined us today from Whatnot? I'm curious. Now you gotta get these. Oh no, you guys can't see. You guys can't see me going all underneath my clothes to put this mic on. I know Melissa Gomez was there. Chris Schmidt was there. Michelle Adamus. Who else did I see? I probably should stop calling out names because somebody's going to be upset because I don't call their name. But we had a good-sized group. It was fun, but it was fast. Like, it was really fast. David says I'm still all geeked up. I'm still all amped up from being on there.
Dorothy says, I'm anxious or looking forward to see how you going to decoupage around the latches. I have to do this to a sewing table. The knobs were glued on instead of screws.
Oh, yeah, you can just cheat. I'm going to put a slit in the paper, and hopefully I can get it around there pretty good. And if I have any imperfections, I'll just put some decoupage paper on there, and nobody will ever know. And if they look close enough to figure it out, then they can redo it for me.
All right.
I say that with a lot of attitude, huh? So I have my piece of tape here, which is nice because I can paint this without having to worry about getting tape on the top.
All right.
I mean, paint on the top.
I have to test my sound. Okay.
Did you have a mic on?
I did. I don't know.
Oh.
I tested them before we went on, and they were all fine. But Heather McDonald, I was there, won a giveaway.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah.
HMCD.
That's Heather. Oh, okay.
Heather McDonald.
Thank you for joining us, Heather. I know. I'm excited to get that paper out.
So, Susan Glazer is a little late. What are you doing tonight?
Tonight, Susan, I am working on this little toolbox. We're going to decoupage it. And we're doing a Q&A session. So if you have any burning craft questions, you can ask them, and I will try my best to answer them. And it doesn't have to be decoupage. It could be...
Tonight is entirely Q&A while Royce fiddles about.
Fiddles about?
Well,
I know.
I like the hoop. What can I say? That's from Tommy.
And look, I said you don't need complete coverage, but I can't help myself. I'm going to do a second coat so I can get a little more coverage. And I don't even have to do this, but I'm already doing it, so I have to finish now. That heater is getting hot, baby. Can you do me a favor and can you get up, or is it going to be too hard?
What?
That heater is like...
Need to turn it off?
Or turn it down, or maybe turn it your way a little bit. You have your jacket on over there. And I'm going to start sweating. It could be me. It could very well be me. Apparently, being able to monitor your body temperature just goes all to shite.
I just turned it off. If you need it back on, I'll turn it back on.
Okay. I'm so grateful that David is so gracious. Poor thing. You guys should see us in the house. It's hot in here. It's cold in here. It's hot in here. It's cold in here. Now, I'm asking myself a question inside of my head. The one thing I got to figure out how I'm going to handle, and I think I might just leave it, is that, I didn't get into it. There's a space right here, inside of here, that's green, but I think I'm going to leave that. I'm just going to pretend like it's not there, because you'll never see it from the outside. So we'll let that dry. You guys are quiet tonight. No questions.
Mary Beth Martin asks, new papers soon?
Yes, new paper soon. So we are preparing to get everything done next week so we can get papers to our retailers. And then once everyone gets their paper, we'll make a public announcement and you guys will get to see the new designs. There'll be 7 new designs. And I'm kind of excited about them. I'm going to see what you guys think because I did some things a little different. Some of the stuff you guys can expect and a few things that are different. But yes, we have spring coming up soon.
Crooked Tree Creations with Patty Davis asks, have you decoupaged a lampshade?
Yes, I've decoupaged a couple of lampshades. I should do another one of those soon.
You haven't done one of those in a long time. I think that was before we got married.
Really? Has it been that long?
Because I remember buying them with you at a Goodwill.
Yeah.
And I want to say that was way, way before we got married.
That's when you thought I was crazy. Is that what you're saying?
No, I didn't say that.
That's when he was wondering, woman, what are you doing? So because lampshades are tricky because even the ones that look like they're just straight around, they still have a bit of a pitch. And so you have to account for that. But maybe I'll put that on my list to decoupage lampshades. Lampshades are fun. I try to, if you want like really dramatic light, down light in your space, then you can do like darker paper and darker colors. But I feel like if you want your lamp to really serve as a lamp, you want to stick to lighter paper and lighter colors so that the light can still like kind of go through the lampshade.
Yeah, Melissa Gomez, you should do one. A couple of people asking, are we cold? It's cold for us.
Yeah, it's cold.
It's not cold, it's cold for us.
I'm not going to tell you guys what it is here because I think that was Terry that was saying earlier that she feels so bad for me while she's sitting in 7-degree temperatures.
Our overnights have been in the 30s or 20s, upper 20s or low 30s. But that's cold for us. Our daytimes have been 60s and 70s.
Yesterday was warm.
It was very warm.
It was very warm. But then, so we live in the desert, you guys, and so what happens is we don't have like cloud coverage or like a lot of atmosphere. So at night, when the sun goes down,
it just gets cold.
It just, the temperature drops really, really fast, and it's cold. And we don't live in the city, so we don't have the concrete holding on to the heat either. So it drops significantly at night. And I always feel it. Look, I sound like my grandparents. I feel it in my joints. Oh, when that temperature drops, I legitimately feel it. I don't like it.
Our house really holds the cold.
Which is weird, right?
It really does. It just holds that cold. So, it's, look, somebody who grew up in cold, and I'm not even as cold as some other areas like the Iron Range up in Minnesota. That's cold.
Mm-hmm.
North Dakota, that's cold. Where it's like a desert except it's cold.
Yeah, like dry cold.
There's nothing there. There's nothing.
Oh no.
To block the wind. I get it, but for us here, it's cold.
So I'm going to be using the Royce Industrial Masterboard for this piece. I chose it because it does have a lot of green in it. I think it's pretty. So I got to figure out what piece I'm going to use.
Cheryl Lynn says, when do you get to create the Sisterhood of the Traveling Art Journal?
So Lynn Brundage gets it before me. So when Lynn sends it to me, then I get to create. So probably sometime next month. I know it's going to be February. I don't know when in February, honestly. But soon. I still don't know what I'm going to do. But that journal is gorgeous. It is thick hide leather, the cover. And the paper is beautiful. It almost looks like handmade paper. It's really nice weight. Probably, if I had to guess, like 15 pounds maybe.
Well, Dorothy could see 4 planets in alignment.
Oh, wow.
Without a telescope. Venus, Jupiter, Mars, and Saturn. It was clear so much that our grandson, when we went over last night, made me stop and look up in the sky.
Aww.
And he goes, look at the stars, Grandpa. It's like, yeah, those are pretty cool. Let's go in. It's cold.
I know, right? He's probably not even cold. Young folks.
6 years old. He ran into the house, took his shoes and socks off.
I'm going to trim this down to make this manageable. And because we're doing a toolbox, I think these pieces with all the topography, and then I like this right here, the 6-cord spool cotton, copyright 1881. I'm like really digging that piece. So I'm hoping I can get it in a space where it's highlighted. So it's probably going to go in the back because I'm going to have to get around these and I don't want to cut it up. And this is a little tiny lunch pail. Like, what could you possibly have packed in here? I'm trying to see what it says.
Thing I wanted to... Karen Moyer says, is that a sneak peek at a paper?
No, this is a regular paper, Karen. This is an existing design. This is the Industrial Masterboard. I think this one's a couple of years old. It's still one of my favorite, of course. There's all kinds of yummy script on here and ferns and like weird stuff that I love, like my little octopus here. And tons of topography. A little I love the master boards because I feel like you guys see them online, but when you get them in your hands, you always find something new that maybe you didn't notice online. And this paper is certainly one of those papers that has a lot of really cool details that are kind of in there that it's hard to convey online, but that you'll definitely see when you get them in your hot little hands. So let me see.
Can I see on your website the retired papers?
No. And the reason why I don't keep them up is because it causes problems for the retailers.
And that's what I was going to ask is if it's because on the Whatnot show today, you had a few things with retired papers.
Oh, yeah. Those are like way retired.
Right.
Yeah.
Today's Whatnot show was Royce selling things she's made.
Yes.
It wasn't like old wood spindles and stuff like that. It was
made yeah.
Items. And you had mentioned a couple times that these papers were retired.
Yeah.
So, but that doesn't mean retailers might not have them.
A lot of the stuff I sold today was really old. Like, I don't even know if retailers even carried some of that stuff.
Okay.
Because some of it was before I even had retailers. However,
and that's why I was asking.
Yeah, I do take them down. I used to leave them up, but it causes problems because people go looking for them and retailers don't have them, and then they're upset with them. So I just started taking, and I mean, I don't take them down like immediately, but they do come down once they're retired because I don't want my people to have problems.
Melissa Gomez loves the octopus. Said that would be nice on my clipboard.
Yes, Melissa. I know. My clipboards, I didn't know if those would sell. I'm kind of sad. All 3 sold.
And Mary Beth Martin says, yeah, her favorites are the master boards too.
Yeah, the master boards are fun because you can use them as one big paper, but you also have like all these bits that you can use for your smaller home decor projects or even like the really small craft projects.
Melissa Gomez says, what's the name of this paper again?
This is Industrial Masterboard is the name of this paper. I'm trying to decide if I want to try to do this as one big piece of paper or if I want to cut it in panels. I think I'm going to try to do it all at once. Y'all pray for me. We're going to see what happens.
That's one that looks like it needs to be all at once.
Well, I mean, I was going to do it, like piece it together, but maybe cut the panels for each sides of the box. And so I'm trimming it again, and I'm leaving myself probably about 1/2 inch. Because what happens, especially if you're going to be decoupaging around something, if I don't start perfectly straight, like let's say if I tilt it just a little bit, by the time I get over here, it can be like way tilted. And so that's why I like to leave a little bit extra just in case I make a mistake. I have a little bit of like room to do that, which I should have left myself a little bit more space on the top because I really want this to be on here. I might cut this. I think I'm going to cut it.
All right, so I've got a question since nobody's asking. It's all weather talk right now. So Royce and I are conflicting at the moment.
Oh, Lord, what, baby?
On TV. And here's the conflict.
What are we conflicting about?
Royce has discovered Apple TV.
Yeah, it's like the old Sci-Fi channel used to be before somebody took over.
And I didn't realize Apple was so heavy into sci-fi.
Oh, okay.
And I'll watch the one with you, the Severance, but it's incredibly slow paced, and it feels dark. And I don't necessarily dislike dark. I just don't necessarily want all dark all the time.
Yeah.
I'm not a goth. I'm not emo.
That is not goth or
I know,
emo.
but I'm just saying.
Oh my God.
So I'm into, at the moment, old Columbo episodes.
I like Columbo.
Yeah, but you don't want to watch it all the time. Whereas I just want to watch nothing but Columbo at the moment.
We tried watching the new Columbo. And
Poker Face.
Poker Face, I guess, is basically the new Columbo.
Yeah,
that reminded David of how much he liked the old Columbo. So.
Well, my mom loved it, and I watched it because my mom watched it. Because it started in the first movie was 1969, and then the series started in 1971. So I was 9 when the series started.
Yeah.
And when you're 9, you watch whatever the adult watches.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
the deal.
Especially then when there's only one TV in the house.
Exactly. And You know, that TV, if the knob broke, Dave, get up and get the pliers. I was the remote control.
Yes.
But looking back on it, it's just a fun show. I'm just curious if anybody's going back to the really old stuff.
Well, because we watched, what's the one with the courts?
Night Court?
We watched Night Court. We've actually gone back to...
Well, that was the 80s.
Can you turn that back on for
Yeah.
me? I mean, okay, that's not the really old stuff, but I mean...
No, it was the 80s.
Yeah. Is that really old stuff?
Well, that's 40 years ago.
You guys, I'm standing in Dairy Queen last night because the young lady's name was Aaliyah. And I'm telling her about the artist Aaliyah, and you should look up Aaliyah because she's a really good artist. And Timberland was like a really good producer. And I'm thinking to myself, this is all like the history of music to her. Anyways, carry on, babe.
No, I'm curious if anybody's doing that, if they're going back. Because streaming, you know, we can complain about streaming all day long, and there's value to complaining about it. I really, really want the next investment to be a 4K player and then start buying some 4K stuff. Mm-hmm. Because we've seen what happens. Edits are made, changes are made.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, I want to see what originally happened. But I'm curious, the good thing about streaming is you can find stuff.
Yeah.
And not everything. Some stuff you can't. It took until just recently for Drew Carey's show to come back.
Oh.
So 30 years. But I'm curious if anybody's going back, and if they are, what they're watching, because I'm always looking for new stuff.
I watched I've watched CSI, like NCIS, I mean, I don't know. I've watched the entire series at least 3 times. I've watched all of the Star Treks at least twice. I'm trying to think of what else. I don't know.
All right, geez, every time my tablet flips, I lose all the comments, so I have to go out and go back in.
Oh, no.
Let's see.
You need to put it on lock. You need to lock it down.
Let's see. Alyssa Bricker Visithin. I've been watching Elsbeth.
Oh, I love that show.
I don't mind it.
I really like it. You don't like it because they show you what happens at the beginning?
No, I don't dislike it. I don't mind it.
Oh.
Plus, it's got Bunk from The Wire on it. He's the captain.
Oh.
That was the character he played on The Wire.
Yeah. I never watched The Wire.
Oh, The Wire is so good.
It's interesting to me that you don't really like that one because you said that the one thing that you don't like about Poker Face is the lack of cat and mouse.
That's it. It's not that they show the murder ahead of time, because Columbo does the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's the cat and mouse I miss.
But Elsbeth does a really good job of that.
That's what I'm saying. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Melissa Huey Gomez, I like the new Matlock as well. That's the one with Kathy Bates.
Yes.
So here's my issue with that show. I love Kathy Bates. I think she's really, really, really good. There's a reason she has an Oscar.
Yes.
I don't mind the supporting characters, although I'm not enamored with them. My issue is the conceit of the show. She's undercover to find something out. And when you start from that premise, there better be a conclusion. It's kind of like How I Met Your Mother.
Yeah. They're only going to get so many seasons out of it because she's going to find out.
Right. And How I Met Your Mother, I punched out, I think, after the 4th season because it was, oh, we're going to meet the mother. We're going to meet oh, no, we're not going to meet the mother. It's a fake out. Oh, nope, I'm out.
You can only fake me out so many times.
Tell me a story. I don't mind an ending. I'm okay with that. And that's my only problem with that. Otherwise, I do like Kathy Bates. Somebody mentioned one of your favorites, Murdoch Mysteries.
Oh my gosh, I watched it twice. I'm so sad that it's over. It's like all of the like steampunky, late 1800s, powerful woman in a time when women were supposed to know their place. All the themes.
The Doctor?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Let's see. Chris Schmidt, love Elsbeth. Vicky Zach, right now hooked on Flea Market Flip.
I do love Flea Market Flip. Are there new ones? I need to go check YouTube TV and see if there are new ones on there.
Karen Moyer, MeTV. Now I know of MeTV, but we don't have it. I think it's only broadcast. I don't think it's a streamer.
What's Me TV?
And if I'm wrong, it's basically all old shows. Honeymooners, Twilight Zone, Fugitive, OG, FBI. I would want to watch it because I want to see the monkeys. Nobody streams the monkeys.
Hey, we're the monkeys. Sorry.
Kathleen O'Brien Hoovis, is it better to take the tape off when the paint is wet or wait until it's dry?
It depends on your purpose. If you're like, for me, I'm going to wait until it's dry because this is literally just here to protect this top. But if you're trying to make clean lines, I think it's better to take the paint off when it's wet. When you wait until it's dry, I feel like you end up with little like prickly marks where the tape has lifted up the paint a little bit.
Julie Brawley, it's bad when you watch a series and then you're on the second or third replay. No, there's some I can just watch over and over again. I'm jonesing right now to watch Good Place again. And
Are you? We've watched it twice already.
I know, and I'm trying. Oh, please, miss, I've seen NCIS. And there's a lot more seasons of NCIS than there are of Good Place. That's why I'm holding off.
It's because of the way I watch. Let's just be honest. I don't watch TV. I basically listen to TV most of the time. And there's some watching in between there.
Tina Burke, you can cut elements and add to order papers. It's awesome. I'm sorry. I'm not sure what she's referring to.
Hey, Tina.
Teresa Gonzalez, I've been thinking about decoupaging in a lampshade. Tina says Columbo and Monk are alike. I never watched it.
You never watched Monk?
Loved. For the record, my mother was a police officer. She loved procedurals. I really should watch Monk. I've seen some episodes, but not the whole series.
Oh, I've watched Monk twice too.
I like Tony Shalhoub. So, and Tina says my 26-year-old loves I Love Lucy. I can't. I've never been a Lucy fan.
The way you said it, I can't.
And I should, because Lucy is an innovative TV show. It created the 3-camera sitcom. It created the sitcom that can go into syndication. They filmed it, which they didn't do at the time. Everything was kinescopes. So they were tossed aside immediately after broadcast.
Oh.
That's why there's no footage of the original Goldbergs. I should like it. I struggle. I'm not a Lucille Ball fan.
Karen. Is Karen here? You hear him, Karen?
I appreciate everything she did. She just doesn't thrill me. And then knowing that Ethel and Fred hated each other. Hated.
Really?
Yeah, the story goes, whether or not it's true, that when William Frawley died, who played Fred Mertz, Vivian Vance, who played Ethel, was at dinner with friends and got the word and ordered champagne for everyone.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
She hated him.
I wonder what went down on that set.
Well, she hated the idea of being, because she and Lucy were very close in age, but she was supposed to be the older.
Oh, yeah.
And she hated the idea that people thought she could be married to him because he was already in his 60s, and I think she was late 30s, maybe early 40s. Maybe.
Yeah, but why she got to hate on him, though? He didn't have anything to do with that.
He was also a drunk before the show started.
Oh.
And Desi had to tell him, anytime you come in drunk, you're out. He had a bad reputation, apparently, for that. I don't know. I've tried. Honeymooners is another one. I don't mind it, but I don't particularly like it. And I'm not sure why.
What about Carol Burnett?
I always watch Carol Burnett. I never had a problem with Carol Burnett.
Interesting.
I liked her show. I like her. Yeah, it's not woman-led, because I'll watch a woman-led show all day. It just never grabbed me. I don't know why.
So I'm going to have to figure out something for the top, you guys, because I started in the back. You guys see what I did? The mistake made. So I started here in the back and I lined it up because I wanted this to be the top. But what I did was I pushed all of my extra paper to the bottom, which meant when I came around the side, this whole top lip is blank. So I don't know. I could just add a piece of paper there and no one would ever know. But I'm thinking that because this is going to be opening and closing, that maybe I'll just paint this a similar color as the background of the paper and leave it. That's probably what I'm going to do.
Lori Stanley Henderson, Enola Holmes is good too. I don't know that. What is Enola Holmes?
I don't know. Oh, is that the new one? Yes, I've watched both of those. It's, what's his name's little sister? Sherlock's. Are you talking about the one with Sherlock's little sister? Isn't that the name of it?
Okay. Is that the one that Superman appears in? Mm-hmm. He did a TV show. The actor who plays Superman. He was just in the Ministry of Gentlemanly Warfare or Ungentlemanly Warfare. He played in The Witcher.
Was he in The Witcher?
He was the lead in it. I can't think of the guy's name. Anyway, Christy Wittenberg, we have Hallmark Plus, have been watching mysteries that they have along with the romance cruise movies. Other than that, it's baking championships. Pam Wasson, hooked on BritBox. See, I'm thinking about that.
I know. There's a couple of shows on BritBox.
Yeah, my favorites are Father Brown, Sister Boniface, Keeping Up Appearances, Vicar of Dibley. I love Vicar of Dibley.
We watched all of that one. That one's one I could watch again.
Vicar of Dibley?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Dawn French.
Okay, you guys. So I'm going to pull you guys in closer so you can see how I do this. Whoops. Now, I could approach this a couple of different ways. I can, if I run my fingers along the side of this, I have it lined up perfectly where I want it. And I could cut it and try to get a perfect cut. But then I would literally have to get a perfect cut, right? Or I can just, I'm going to do a slit right down the middle. And I'm just going to go to the side just a little bit on each side. So what that's going to do is give me enough, it's going to loosen it up enough so that I could get it decoupaged. My slit needs to go a little bit further. Maybe I need to line this up right before I cut anything else.
Julie Brody has watched Monk so many times she has it memorized. Pam Wasson loves Monk and Psych. We just rewatched.
Oh yeah, we rewatched Psych too.
Melissa Gomez, Lucy was funny. I appreciate what Lucy did.
You don't like it.
It just didn't do it for me. Golden Girls.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Golden Girls. And what's the other one with Julia and Delta Burke?
Oh, that was Designing Women.
Yeah, Designing Women. We used to watch that.
Designing Women. Golden Girls I could watch all day. Designing Women didn't do it for me.
Oh. And so you guys see how I put that slit right there? So that's going to allow me to decoupage around this. And then I'll come back after everything is dry and I'll use my X-Acto knife to carve that. Now, you'll be tempted to go in right away to carve this because it feels dry. But you guys know whenever you have two surfaces that meet perpendicularly, that there's always extra moisture trapped in that space. So really allow this time to dry completely before you start trimming. Otherwise, you just tear your paper. Okay, carry on.
The issue with Designing Women, I've learned what it is. I don't like issue comedy. By that I mean
there's always like
when comedies want to take a stand on an issue, because it generally doesn't work, in my opinion. It's jarring. The most recent example I'll give you of that is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. The last season dealt with police brutality. And not so much brutality, but how unions protect police officers. And I thought it just was out of place. It's a silly, dumb comedy. I'd rather see a drama tackle that
than a comedy.
That's just me. And Designing Women was that way all the time. My rule is, if the audience is going to applaud rather than laugh, it's not a comedy. So that's
very interesting.
That's just me. Karen Moyer, I wish they would show Moonlighting. Hulu had it, we started to watch it.
I couldn't watch it.
It didn't hold up. And I remember that show was groundbreaking. I mean, it was appointment TV.
Appointment TV.
And maybe it was like Parks and Rec. We had to get to season 2.
Yeah.
But that first season, it didn't work. And we turned it off.
I think a lot of it is because our like I find that there's so much inappropriate content in old shows, like a lot.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that it wasn't inappropriate at the time, but then you watch it retrospectively and you're like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. Anybody watch Benny Hill? I did. I love Benny Hill.
Oh my gosh, my cousins loved Benny Hill. I had all male cousins, so I was subjected to like, you know, Benny Hill, and what's that one guy that used to jump over stuff all the time? On his motorcycle?
Evel Knievel?
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
Evel Knievel.
Well, it wasn't a show. It was a special.
I know, but it was always, we had to watch it
Oh, yeah.
whenever he was doing it. And Bruce Lee.
Yeah?
Yeah.
No, not Dean Cain. He played him in the movies. Played Superman. Henry Cavill. Thank you, Flea. Oh, Flea's back.
Hi, Flea.
Probably can.
Oh.
Yeah. Elsbeth is like Columbo. That's why I say I'm okay on that. Jan McCrary, Vera on BritBox. We may have to get BritBox.
We may, because there's actually a couple of sci-fi shows that come, because it's Prime's fault, because they keep showing me shows that are on. That's how I ended up with Apple TV, because I wanted to see, was it Foundation? I think was the name of the show.
Julie Brawley did not like Maude. It was one of those, if it was on, I'd watch it, but I never made a point of watching it. Most of the Norman Lear shows, I was that way. One Day at a Time annoyed me because it was always an issue a week. And it was always a big issue, and it's like, it's a comedy. Just be funny.
It's a comedy. Sorry.
Julie Brawley loved Boston Legal. Dave, how do you feel about Murphy Brown from Vicky Valdez Green? Murphy Brown was on at a time
remember Murphy Brown.
I didn't get to see a lot of TV. So there was a stretch where I was a sports writer, and sports writers work at night. And
So you didn't get to watch.
unless it was baseball season, it was the only time I really got to work during the day. But everything else is at night.
Yeah.
So I just didn't see a lot of TV, and I didn't care enough to like record it. And by that point, I think TiVo was the thing, and I didn't have one. But I didn't record with a VHS. It was like, I'll see it if I see it. So,
There was nothing. I don't remember anything that I cared about enough to record it.
I
cannot think of anything. Maybe Michael Jackson's Thriller video, because we wanted to be able to watch it when we wanted. But I mean, like a show for me to record consistently to like be able to watch it. I don't remember anything.
Yeah. So I really have no sense of Murphy Brown. All I remember was Dan Quayle getting upset at it.
Why?
He was the vice president because Murphy Brown got pregnant and she wasn't married.
Oh.
And that's it. All in the Family. All in the Family I would watch, because again, this was 3 channels, so you know, I always went to a comedy. If it was a comedy or a drama, I always went comedy. Yes, that was an issues show, but I think they had a rule that the audience wasn't allowed to applaud when somebody made a point.
Oh, really?
So I think I liked it a little bit better, but yeah. Then came Bronson. Oh, Patricia. Patricia's my age, apparently. I remember that one. Yeah.
You know what David made me watch, you guys? Laughing.
And Karen Moyer, most definitely when I watched Rowan and Martin's Laughing, I was thinking they'd never put that on today.
What channel would you watch it? Because we watched it.
Prime.
Oh,
Prime.
it was on Prime.
Will and Grace, I've watched some of the episodes. I liked it. I didn't like Will or Grace. I liked Jack and Karen.
You like the supporting characters?
I did. Vicky used to record ER. Denise Nerdall, Dallas. I never watched the nighttime soaps.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I watched because my aunt and everybody watched.
Everybody needs
Who
to
shot
pull out a
JR?
little bit.
Pull out some more? Okay, sorry, you guys. Who shot JR? I remember that. I was younger. That's all I remember about Dallas.
Paula Takagi, Linda Bloodworth Thomason, who was the showrunner for Designing Women, was college roommates with my childhood friend,
Oh, wow.
whose last name was Sugarbaker.
Huh. My ears are like ringing
Barney
so bad
Miller.
right now.
I love Barney Miller. My mom loved Barney Miller. She said Barney Miller was the most accurate police show ever.
It was so slow and
Because that's what police work is. It's slow and it's paperwork. And she never fired her weapon in the line of duty.
yeah, it's not as theatrical as people think
Never.
it
It
is.
was only on the range. It was the only time she shot. That's what it is. It's dealing with silly things and shoplifters and parking tickets, and she loved it. Yeah, Patricia, we're in the neighborhood. She's a little bit older than me, but just barely. Yeah, Vicky Zach, All in the Family would not be on today. I think it would. I think it would. Okay, let's see. Sheila Teagan loved House with Hugh Laurie. I never watched The Medicals either.
Yeah, I loved House too. I always love shows with people who are extraordinary. So like House, I watch every single Sherlock Holmes, like iteration of Sherlock Holmes that there's been. What's the one with the young man who has autism and he works in the...
He's a doctor.
He's a doctor. I watched that one. I don't know. I'm just fascinated by the idea of someone being exceptional. So I do find myself watching those shows.
Amy Waters, Frasier is funny. Frasier was right in that period where I just didn't see a lot of I didn't see Seinfeld when it was on the first time. I've only seen it in rerun.
Oh my gosh. Jackie loved it.
I want to say I've only seen the first few seasons of Cheers. Because there was just that stretch where I was working nights.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of shows I just didn't see because didn't have an opportunity. Some I've gone back. What I've seen of Frasier seems funny.
Now, you guys will notice on this one, I'm approaching it a little bit different than I did on the fronts. And it's because there's like a little shape right here, and I want to make sure that the paper goes around it. So I spritzed it so that the paper is more malleable. And I'm just kind of making sure that the paper is adhered around it before I attach it above.
Amy Waters, how do you know which direction to sand a joining corner of decoupage?
For this one, right, I'm sanding as I go, so I don't have that problem. So I sanded this one off this way because it was here before I put on the next one. So that's why you see me drying each section first before I'm sanding off the edges so that I'm not left with that decision. And if I were to sand this and a little bit of white would show through or something, I would just go over that white with a color that's similar to the background and just blend it in. Anybody looking that close at your work, girl, they can come and fix it. Or you can use like glaze or some dark wax too to kind of mask those areas.
Sherry Meek, or Sherry Meek, I'm not sure, Cheri, says we are addicted to MASH and Hogan's Heroes on Me TV. All right, now everything I said about issue TV, issue comedy.
You liked MASH.
So here's the thing. I like the first 3 seasons of MASH.
Oh, I see.
Once Henry and Trapper leave, I'm not as big a fan. Not because I really like David Ogden Stiers as an actor. Mm-hmm. And I thought his portrayal of Winchester was good. I think it got to become issue sitcom. And that bothered me. Although I liked the disparity between funny and the camp, serious and the OR in the first 3 seasons. And I think if that show had ended at the end of season 3 would be the third best ending of a TV show ever.
I thought, oh yeah, because of the ending.
Because of that ending.
I would argue that most shows, like 3 or 4 seasons, and then they go awry.
They do. So the rule, this is what I understand from people that I know that have worked in TV. Season 1, the showrunners are in charge.
Mm-hmm.
The person who develops the show. But they're still finding their way.
Yes.
Season 2, things kind of gel.
Okay.
We know the direction to take the characters.
Yes.
The actors are comfortable.
And you see actors kind of owning certain parts of their character.
And really becoming, the characters becoming alive. Season 3 and on, the actors are in charge. Because now the audience is invested in that person playing that character. And now that's when they start to dictate things. And there's 2 ways you can go. The first way is MASH. Alan Alda became basically in charge of MASH.
Okay.
Or Valerie's family, where Valerie Harper was the star, told the showrunners how to do things, and they fired her.
Oh.
And they had to rename the show. It also didn't last.
She was like, I told you so.
Yeah. You can't get rid of those characters. You can't get rid of a lead character.
No.
And expect a show to survive. You can barely get rid of a supporting character. So I like MASH. If you can get the DVDs, you have the option of watching MASH without the laugh track.
Oh.
And I think it makes it so much better.
I think anything's better without the laugh track.
Oh, I agree. Hogan's Heroes is perfect for background. There's nothing of substance there. It's the same joke over and over. Look at those wacky Nazis. Aren't they funny? Because they're so dumb and Hogan's so smart. It's the same exact thing. Okay.
TV is background TV to me. So I'm not going to try to trim these, you guys, because like I said, I want to make sure that it's completely dry. But when it's dry, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take my, ¿cómo se dice? X-Acto knife, and I'm going to lay it down sideways. A lot of times when you try to cut things this way, you miscut. You want to use the edge of this and to guide my knife. So I'm going to lay it down flat and use the edge of this to guide my knife, and I'm going to trim this really carefully. But if I try to trim it while the paper is damp, I'm just going to tear the paper. So I want to make sure the paper is completely dry before I trim it, and I want to make sure my blade is really, really sharp so that I'm not tearing the paper, but I'm cutting it.
Denise Hutchison Nerdahl, Sanford and Son. Another one that's basically the same joke over and over again, but I'll still watch it because I like Red Fox. Red Fox made me laugh.
His son got on my nerves. Who disrespects their parents like that?
Julie Brawley had a crush on Barney Miller. He's still alive. Good looking man back then too. Huh? Yeah, Patricia Cassidy, Knots Landing. Like I said, I never went for the soap operas. Dynasty, Knots Landing, what's the oil one?
Dallas.
Thank you. No, I'm good. Marcus Welby, that was another one. If it was on, I'd watch, but I didn't want to watch it.
You guys see what I mean? Oh,
like I say, watch the first couple of seasons. Jan McCrary, do you watch Irrational? I don't know what
I don't. Oh, you know what? I just started watching that because, yes, he's another person who was exceptional, right? And so I just started watching that. I think I'm like on episode 4 or something. So I'll have to go back to that one because I do enjoy that one. And I want to find out what happened. Because, I like stories like that too because he has his own story that they're kind of unfolding. But at the same time, he's solving mysteries that start at the beginning and end. And I love shows like Bones was another one. I watched that one twice. And what's the one with the New York police?
You're watching the one with the girl that just can see everything. It's basically Psych. She's just observant. It's It's based on a French show.
Oh yeah.
It stars the woman from It's Always
Yeah,
Sunny.
the season ended, so
Yeah.
they haven't had a new one come yet.
But it's basically Psych.
Mm-hmm.
So, Vicky Zach, I cannot stand Jason Alexander, so I don't watch Seinfeld. Those characters, there's a point. It's why I don't watch Curb Your Enthusiasm. To me, comedy is not uncomfortable. There's a reason why they're two different words.
Oh yeah, I feel like the new comedy is uncomfortable.
And
you guys see what I mean?
Britain has really pushed that hard.
Yeah.
And I just don't care for that.
So I think what I'm gonna have to do about this white edge is I'm gonna find a color that's similar to this background and just paint that. That way, when it's closed, you can't see it anyways. But when you open it, it won't seem so jarring. Although that's a pretty nice clean line right there. I could just leave it, but I don't like that.
Angie Champagne, David, what are the top 2 endings? I used to say the ending to Newhart was the best ending.
Oh, when they all wake up from a dream?
Well, when Bob wakes up.
Oh, yeah. And he's been dreaming?
I used to say that, but I think The Good Place has the best ending. I think The Good Place may be the best show ever.
The Good Place was good because it took us a while to figure out. We figured it out before they revealed it. We won't ruin it in case you haven't watched it.
Yeah, watch it.
But it did take us a while to figure out what was actually going on.
And that was one where it was like, okay, you think that they painted themselves in a corner, but it was obvious the showrunner knew what they wanted to do and how to get there. Yeah. And it works. The whole thing just works. Top to bottom. I used to say Dick Van Dyke was the best show ever.
The best ending?
No, best show ever.
Oh, okay.
But I think The Good Place may be the best show ever.
Oh, wow.
If Scrubs had ended the season before the medical school, that might have been.
Yeah, they ruined it. They should have just let
They're bringing it back, by the way. They're bringing back Scrubs. With the cast.
Oh, yeah, X-Files. Absolutely. I've watched X-Files. I've only watched it twice. I should watch it again. I'm going to put that on my list.
All right, so here are the other ones we have. Grey's Anatomy.
Yes.
Watch it.
Grey's Anatomy was good for like the first 3 seasons. And then I guess everybody grew up and became doctors and the story changed. But, you know, the first 3 seasons was really good.
Batman and Get Smart. I will fall on my sword. Those are both great shows.
You will fall on your sword.
I will.
Of course you will.
They're just fantastic shows. Batman, I watched as a kid, 4 years old, and it was the greatest show ever. As an adult, it is hilarious.
Yes.
And Get Smart was made by Mel Brooks. Done. It's just a great show. And Buck Henry.
Yes. Luis has a question. Can you tell me who has a website that sells your paper? Luis, if you go to roycycled.com, you can find a tab on the top that says retailers. If you click that, you can find a list of retailers and they're grouped by area. So you can put in your zip code or where you live, and it'll tell you who has paper. And I think most of the retailers do have websites. And you can also find Royce Cycle Decoupage paper on Etsy. There are quite a few people who sell on there as well.
Sheila Teagan, what's the one set in Baltimore? A cop show. Homicide was in the name. Homicide Life on the Streets was one of them. But there was a homicide show. But if you want the one that's really good that's set in Baltimore, The Wire.
I never watched The Wire. I don't know. I'm like if everybody is loving something, I'm not gonna do it. like I remember when Games of Thrones first came out, I was like, because they were just too excited about it. I was like, I'm not gonna do it. So I barely watched it last year. I binge watched the whole series though, and I did like it. But so if there's something and everybody's all excited about it, I'm usually like a contrarian.
All right, here's where I'm gonna lose everybody. I didn't like The Sopranos.
You did not like
I watched every season. I owned every season. I bought the DVDs.
Why'd you buy the?
Well, because I didn't have HBO, so I bought them, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch them this way. I did the same with Lost. That's how I watched Lost. And I got to the final season and watched the last episode of Sopranos, and turned around and sold them the next day.
So for me, again, Sopranos. The first 2 seasons were the best to me. Because remember, it started off with a mob boss come to terms with the decisions and just the pressure of the decisions he was making. And I think in season 3 is where they started kind of, I don't know, the storylines just
It became a soap opera.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
I just don't want the flashes of good weren't enough for me. I just couldn't. And The Wire was so much better.
Yeah. So, do we have any more questions? Because my comments are just kind of like recycling again.
No. Yeah, Jan McCrary, worst ever ending Sopranos. I don't disagree.
I don't even remember the ending.
Angie did not care for The Good Place.
Interesting TV show chat. I know.
Bones, Melissa Q.E. Gomez. You like Bones.
I did. I watched Bones twice. I really did like it.
Yeah. Karen Moyer loved Lost, hated the ending. The problem I think Lost had...
I never watched Lost, so don't ruin it for me.
The problem I think Lost had was everybody figured it out after the first season. And this was right at the birth of, well, we're going to talk about TV online. And the showrunners saw that and said, no, you guys think you figured it out, but you haven't figured it out. And then you get to the end and it was like, oh, we figured it out.
Yeah.
And it went off the rails. It started as just this wonderful mystery. What's going on? And then when you get to the end, it's like, oh, it is exactly what we thought it was. Okay. It was fine.
Yeah.
The best pilot episode ever. Watch that. Watch just the first episode. You will be blown away. In terms of sequencing, because it's all about an airplane crash. I'm not giving anything away. We know that.
Yes.
The sequencing with the plane crash is second only to the opening of Saving Private Ryan. It's that good. Because Saving Private Ryan, the opening, 20 minutes?
Good.
The invasion of the storming of the beach at Normandy is maybe the best thing ever filmed. The plane crash for Lost is darn close.
Oh, now I gotta go watch Lost. So, baby, put on our list. Someone wants me to do stamps, so we can do masking, and then we want to decoupage. You know what? I should put a post. I'm gonna put a post on Royce, and you guys can let me know what you guys would like to see. Since we're starting a new year, we can see what you guys want to see.
You keep cutting out. It's a thing with you.
What am I doing?
I don't know.
I'm probably leaning on the cord, maybe.
Yeah.
Or something weird.
Lincoln Law on Netflix. We did Lincoln Lawyer. We started watching that.
Oh, yeah. Why did we stop?
It seemed okay.
I think sometimes with the streaming, you forget what's on what channel. Like, there's no centralized place to hold all your favorite stuff, so you lose sight of them. Let's see, Marty Hardy. I have a question. I have some old Recycle Treasures paper. I think I got them from Zazzle. I won't use them. And I also have old ILD transfers. Am I allowed to sell them at yard sale? Oh, I guess. Yeah, they're yours.
The Dome, whatever happened to that show? It just didn't have the viewership.
I think the Dome painted itself into the corner, too.
It just, I don't know why, but viewership fell off. It didn't get a second season.
I stopped watching it. Honestly, so I watch a lot of science fiction, and I think the kind of science fiction that I like to watch is when, yes, the future is, what is the word?
Dystopian?
Dystopian, or, yes, there's this huge challenge they're in space, but there's always this tussle of, humanity and just chaos, right? But there has to always be that glimmer there.
Yes,
some shows write themselves into a place of complete hopelessness, and I'm out. I'm out for that. I don't need to be watching. And I feel like the Dome did that.
There was another show where, was it like an electromagnetic pulse went across the
Yes,
Globe.
it was called. I watched that one too.
I think I watched the first episode of that.
Oh yeah, The Closer. I love that. I've watched that twice.
We watched
Sorry,
The Closer, yeah. And then there was another one where it had to do with like a period of time where everybody moved, where a bunch of people, not everybody, a bunch of people moved forward in time, or they saw, oh no, you knew what you were going to do at a certain time. And if you didn't see anything, that means you were going to die. And I'm trying to remember, I want to say John Cho was in it, I think. And I remember watching the first episode of it, and I thought, holy cow, what a great show. And viewership just tanked.
Huh.
And this was I'm going to watch the first episode of something.
Yeah.
And then wait.
Oh, wait until the end of the
End
season?
of the season.
Yes.
And I don't think it finished the first season.
Oh, wow. Karen Moyer, I loved Manifest. I still don't know what happened, but I like it. I'm sorry, I'm reading comments because they're scrolling back and forth. But it's 7:18. Yeah. So I was hoping maybe we should like plan a Q&A. Of course, we watched that.
Rizzoli and Isles. I know you.
Oh yeah, Rizzoli and Isles. That's the show I was trying to say, where you had the cop from New York, and then you had the coroner, and the policewoman was like really tough, and she had a house full of boys that she was raised with, and the coroner was like raised with money and ladylike. Yes, I think I might watch that again. I really like Rizzoli and Isles. We'll do Rizzoli and Isles. Yes, yeah. That was a good one.
Closer and Major Crimes. We watched them backwards. We watched Major Crimes first.
Oh, and then we watched. Was Major?
Together.
Yeah, because I watched Closer before, so this was my second time watching it.
Closer, and I was like, okay, Closer irritated me.
Because you just didn't like her.
I didn't like her. Yeah, I was like, why are people tolerating this behavior?
People always tolerate bad behavior from people who are super talented. I mean, like in every show where you have an exceptional personality that's really good at something, there's always that level of
that good. I didn't think she was that good.
Well, I mean, it's all like, it's not real.
Did you watch Westworld?
I did. I watched Westworld. I enjoyed the first season better than the second season, but there wasn't a third season, which I'm really sad about.
I never watched it.
It's science fiction.
I didn't even get a chance to see the movie. I wanted to see the movie, but I never did. With Yul Brynner and Richard Benjamin.
So Karen says, I'm impressed how these actors' names just coming to you. So you guys, I used to watch TV like this. Ooh, that was a really good show. And I would even call characters by their names when I talked to my friends. Then I started dating and I married David, and this is what it sounds like now. Do you know who produced the show? It was so and so and so and so, and the writer was so and so and so and so, and this is the lead actor. Oh yeah, I really love him. I remember him when he played in this and this and this and this and this. He is like Tarantino when it comes to TV and actors and stuff, y'all. He knows all this stuff.
That just shows how little I dated in high school.
Is that what that is?
That's all it is.
No, I think you're very intelligent and you enjoy the process of television.
My friends enjoyed this too. So
yeah.
I hung out with guys and we would talk about this stuff.
I think you could do a YouTube channel.
We were at a movie every weekend. And because we didn't date. I want to stress that.
I was probably on a bus traveling to a game every weekend. Just saying.
I played ball, but, and we played hockey in the neighborhood. It was our local, we weren't traveling.
Gary, he remembers it. Yes. So. I think that's all we have for tonight. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm so sad that my resident didn't get here because I had plans.
Mary
So next weekend
is from one of my old stomping grounds. She's from Kingman, Arizona.
Oh. I remember driving through Kingman.
No, we drove through the outskirts. Oh, yeah, we did. We had to take the 93. That's right.
Yeah, I thought
so we briefly poked our nose into Kingman.
Yes, just a little bit. Just a wee bit.
But I used to go to Kingman every week.
Because you had to cover, right?
I was, yeah.
Brain like a steel trap, David. I don't know, Karen.
I'm forgetting a lot.
Right, Billy? Oh my gosh, you guys, I lose words, and they're not even hard words. They're like the simplest words that you use every day, and I'll be in the middle of a sentence and it's just gone. What is that? Earlier today, oh, you guys were asking about our wedding pictures last week. So I was scheduling the live on the iPad, and I was like, let me download the pictures because everyone wanted to see the wedding cake and some of our wedding photos. And I walked into the other room to go get my phone because David sent me some. And then when I came back, I forgot what I was doing. And I sat there for 15 minutes trying to remember, do you think David will help me out? No.
I didn't know that's what you were doing.
That's what I said to you. What was I doing, babe? I went to go get my phone for a reason.
Yeah, but you didn't tell me what the reason was. You just said I need to get my phone.
But I asked you if you sent me the pictures, and you said, yeah, I sent it to you on Messenger. And I said, okay. I need to go get my phone.
See, if I was the closer, I could have made those connections.
Oh, my gosh. So, yes, I just cannot remember anything. And I don't know if you guys are still interested in seeing the wedding. I should show let me see if the wedding cake is on my tablet yet. Let me see. Because it was really a beautiful cake. Oh, there it is. Oh, no, the cake didn't come. Just the wedding pictures.
Well,
what the heck?
The one picture's with you and the cake, isn't it?
No, the ones that I downloaded from Facebook are here, but the ones that I downloaded from your messenger are not here. That's crazy town. Well.
It was, your tablet's been struggling to catch up with your phone.
Yeah, I think it's tired of all the data.
I think you're right. You probably got to thin some stuff out.
I do. Show it. I can't show it, Karen, because I can't find it now.
You said some of the wedding photos are there.
Well, yeah, there's just our group photos, though. I mean, let's see. I'll show this one. Where'd it go? I have so much stuff even on my screen right here. Oh, man. I'm covering up David's head.
Paula Takagi. So nobody remembers Flash Gordon? Used to watch it. WGN. Buster, what was his name? Buster Crabbe played Flash Gordon. I used to watch it. Dale Arden. Dr. Zarkov. I watched it. Oh, poor
I wanted
Dave.
to see the doors. Oh my gosh, Donna. I'll have to show because the doors, we had like a little photo booth area. There was no one there to take photos. You had to take your own photos, but we had like a little photo area set up so people could take photos all night. Well, because it's my circle. Oh, you know what? Let me do it without me in the circle.
I was going to say.
Because I thought, see, it keeps putting me in the circle. I'll take me off. Okay, there we go. So this is one of the photos from our wedding, and this is just our group photo. But you guys see, like I had on a maxi dress. Like, and then David had on like a regular suit, and then his tie matched the dress that I had on later in the day. Because I wore the white dress for the ceremony, and then I wore the burgundy dress for the
all right, so
the dinner.
So when we talk about the kids,
yes,
the one on the far left is the youngest. Then the ones next to us are the twins.
Oh, yeah, that's right, because they're the same.
They're the exact same age, both born in the same year. And then the one on the right is our oldest. So that's from left to right, it's Jordan, Dominique, Christopher, and David Jr.
Yes. Yeah, and I had a bunch of doors, because you guys can see there's another set of doors behind us there. And I bought those at, there was a motel in Tucson. Y'all, I miss picking. And I contacted Bear, and he's like, he's open on Mondays from 8 to 5. What?
So, Tracy B., yes, we've watched Psych a couple of times. We love it.
I know. I actually could watch Psych again. Yeah. He's like,
No, I don't mind.
Oh, what's the one we watched? This is a sci-fi show that you actually enjoyed watching me. Remember? They had the community where all the extra smart people lived in the mountains, and they had a bunch of secret research. Oh, babe, you remember?
Yeah. The lead actor was from Second City.
Really?
Maytag commercials now. It was, I cannot think of it.
It was like a secret government facility underneath the town.
Uh-huh.
And Leroy from Sesame Street was a scientist.
And the guy who plays the general in that new the new military comedy that we watched yesterday. He's the Fix-It guy.
Yes.
Who's also in Blues Brothers 2000, but we won't hold it against him, even though that movie is a steaming pile. I cannot think of the name.
Really? So the daughter on Rizzolian Isles, the medical examiner, is the daughter-in-law of Sophia Loren.
It's possible. I don't know.
Very interesting.
Eureka. Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you, Philippe. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Ken. I'm guessing.
Sadly, I don't know that actor's name, but I do know he came up through Second City.
Oh.
Which it's unusual to see them make that jump to dramedy.
So can you explain to our people what Second City is?
Oh, so there's Second City really was the first improv group. In acting, it was always an acting exercise, improvisation. We're going to make up a play, a scene, without a script. But it was always just training for actors. It wasn't actually its own thing. And then Second City, and I really wish I could remember the name of what it was before they changed their name to the Second City, really made it its own theater style, improvisation.
Yeah.
So the Second City was the improvisational theater for 20 years. And then in LA, it was in Chicago, and it was named from a New Yorker article that kind of said New York's the best and Chicago's just the second city. It's just the little brother.
Oh.
And Chicagoans don't like that.
I see.
So we took that name.
So you took that in.
In LA, in the 70s, they started doing some. It was the Groundlings.
Mm-hmm.
And then
in Canada, right? Too? Didn't
well,
they have
Second
one?
City was in Canada as well.
Oh, okay.
Again, in Toronto, the second city of Canada to Montreal.
I see.
So, in New York, in the late 90s, early 2000s, you had the Upright Citizens Brigade.
Oh, okay.
So UCB. Now, all three have been throughout the country. So there's a Second City Theater in New York. There's a UCB in LA. But being in Chicago, it was a big thing. And the original Saturday Night Live cast, almost all of them came from Second City.
Came out of Second City.
John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd, Gilda Radner. Garrett Morris was a Broadway actor. Jane Curtin was Broadway. Chevy Chase came out of the Lampoon. I can't think of her name.
Make a list really
Lorraine
quickly.
Newman.
Melissa asked about the dress forms on Whatnot. We cut out some little dress forms about this tall, and I put them on some on a pole with a little base, and we had them for one auction, but it didn't really go over that much, so I didn't put them in the auction. But a couple people have asked about them today, so I'll put them in the next auction.
So Second City was the place for Saturday Night Live. You came from Second City. Nowadays they're picking stand-ups, which I think makes it worse because they're not actors.
Yeah.
But so I studied at the Players Workshop at the Second City, and that's where I met my actor friends.
Yeah.
But it was a big deal. My teacher, when I studied there, was in the cast with John Belushi, Harold Ramis, Brian Doyle Murray, and Joe Flaherty. She was in that cast. So
it's interesting to me how you see actors come in what do I call them? Cohorts.
Cohorts, bunches.
Yeah.
But I think we see that in a lot of things. So think of the Founding Fathers. You had this mass of intelligentsia right at the moment of how do we birth a country? Okay, have we seen that intelligentsia since? Probably not. But then you see World War II and you see all these military geniuses. How do we stop this, the spread of fascism?
Yeah.
Have we seen that since? Probably not. You kind of see that,
I think you see it hindsight.
Right.
I don't think you see it
at the moment.
Yeah.
But then there's Bill Murray and all these actors that we're just there.
Thank you. You guys, Melissa loves my dress form. And she has a full skirt too. And this one it has the sticker from Acme is still on it. So like I will never paint her. She will always be the same. And she wears this crown. I call it a crown, but it was really part of a light fixture. Like it was like this. But now it's a crown. I decided that's what it is.
And because it's Acme, you know a coyote's going to try and take it at some point.
I think it's interesting because Acme really did make everything at some point, right? Or they made a lot of stuff.
I don't think so. I think that was Acme was just the general term. I mean, obviously there was a company named Acme.
Yeah.
But I think it was just the general term for, oh, here's a business.
Oh, just Acme form. So it was just a business. Anyways, so I got her. It was just, I have a picking list of things that I want to find. And she was on my list. And I found her. What was that? It was an online Macario. It was an online app. You guys, Macari. I paid like $350 for her shipped. Like that included shipping. She came from like Philadelphia. I was like, yes, please. I was so happy. That was my pick of the century. That and my medical book. What was the show we just mentioned earlier? The medical show?
Rizzoli and Isles?
No.
The guy that has autism?
No.
Marcus Welby?
The show was after a book. There's the very first medical book that was made.
Grey's Anatomy?
Grey's Anatomy, yes. I actually landed, it's a second edition. It's not the first edition, but a second edition, Grey's Anatomy. You know where I found it? At Bears. And he didn't know. I think I paid like $3 for it. Anyways, I have that one, which I'm so excited about. So I have like a list of things that I'm always on the lookout for, even though I don't get to pick as often as I used to. But you guys are tired of talking to, I know you guys are tired of chit-chatting. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight.
Oh, I know, because we've lost so many people.
Oh yeah, they're out. We're done crafting. They're out. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. You guys have a blessed week. And next week we will resume our project with the molds and our frame because I have my resin now. So we will see